Hey Pisces, welcome to my channel. It's True Tarot for today. My name is Sherry, and I'm going to be doing a zodiac spread for you for the month of May 2019. This is a general reading, and it's kind of a weather report. It gives you an idea of the influences that may affect some of you in the month of May. And it's based on, a 12-house zodiac layout. So we're going to begin with your first house, and this is how the world sees you. And they're going to see you as concerned or worried about someone. It could be yourself, it could be a family member. But, the main theme is that you're going to have some sleepless nights, or people are going to pick up that you're, very worried about some situation. And so if you don't want the world to see this as the prime aspect of yourself, that you have anxiety over a situation or a person, try to tone it down. I'm not suggesting that you act fake, but, it's kind of like the overriding principle. They're not seeing you, they're seeing your worry or your concern or your anxiety. Now, in your second house of money, you have the card of competition, and this implies that for many of you, whether it's working or investing, your money has to do with business and competition. And, that's what business is based on. I call this card negocios. It's the card where, in order to make money, you have to beat out the competition, you have to strut your stuff, you have to get in the arena and fight the money dragon. And so, there is a sense of a little bit of struggle here to put the money together, that you want. If it's your 401k or investments, you may feel that the stocks are going up and down, and that's a bit of a harried struggle for you as well, that it's not just smooth sailing. But in any case, you are going to be competitive, and you understand that your money, is based on, performing or outperforming your competition. Now, you have another 5 cards, so there is some change for you guys in the month of May, because you have 2 5s here, and 5s are change. This is the card of your neighborhood, your neighbors. It can be siblings, cousins, even online platforms today, social media can be a neighborhood. But anyway, you're going to pick up that some people are still feeling disappointed, or one person in particular is feeling very let down and disappointed. So whether it's a neighbor, a cousin, a sibling, someone online that you socialize with, don't expect them to be fun to be around or to cheer you up. It's basically a woe is me sob story that's going on with someone. And so, if you're already worried yourself about a person, I wouldn't suggest that you spend a lot of time, with anyone who's just all about, this didn't work out, and this didn't work out, and this didn't work out. Try to keep them at bay so that, your energy is somewhat balanced and you can enjoy the springtime. Okay, now in your home, you have the long-term wealth card or real estate card or inheritance card. Some of you might have inherited a property that you're living in. Some of you may see your property as your investment that you pass on, generationally to your family. Some of you may be putting money into your home and renovating it with the purpose of, making money off of it, like flipping it and getting another house. But a lot of you, this is saying you identify with being a have, and owning property is very important to you. Your sense of identity comes from how your house looks or your home. And for others of you that don't own, you may be renting a place that you're treating as your own, or you would like to buy it in the future, or some of you are looking now to buy a property that you can call home. But in your 4th house and opposite in your 10th house, you have the heavy hitter money cards. So, you're very concerned, with the coin this month, Pisces, of having, money, maintaining money, having, a home that looks good. And so, money is going to be a big theme for you in this month. Now, in your new relationship house, this can be also, the fifth house can represent children as well, or pets. You have the High Priestess card. So we'll start with your children. If this represents your children, they tend to be mystical artists, poets, writers, musicians. This card reveals that their future is not known yet, so they're a bit of a mystery to everyone. They may be a very talented person. They're certainly an extremely intuitive person, whether it's male or female. So one of your children, it may be hard to grasp, where they're going in life or how they're going about getting to where they want to go in life, because there really is a strong creative and intuitive and mystical quality to this child or individual. If it's a new relationship, the person is going to be a mystery to you. Again, whether this is male or female, I consider a new relationship a person you've met within the last 3 years. They may have some of the same traits where, they have a bent towards the arts, towards psychic work. If they're a detective, they have very good deductive skills and very good intuitive skills. Any field where intuition would be important, whether it's the healing arts, psychiatry, criminal law. This is somebody who is just, they base a lot of their success off of what they intuit. And so if it's a new relationship, the person is going to be hard to figure out. Sometimes they're going to appear almost ethereal, like out of this world. And so they're not always a person that you can just approach and ravish and play with and spar with like other people. They are going to present a mystery to you. But I think, Pisceans like that. And I think, it keeps you on your toes. So it will certainly be an exciting attraction if this is a new relationship. And Pisces tends to be very intuitive themselves. So this person, you've met your match because they're quite intuitive also. Okay, in the workplace, you have fire, and this is the Page of Wands. So many of you may be applying yourselves with a lot of enthusiasm, energy, creativity. And so your job is calling out, your more fiery aspect. And that makes sense because the competition card is the same suit. It's wands, and they represent fire and enterprise for the 5. Here, you're stepping up to the plate, you're confident, you're in the game, you're showing your skills, your talent. And so this is a card of, having a lot of energy. And I think many of you Pisces are going to, be putting yourselves out there and not being afraid to show who you are and show your ability. And so that's a very good thing. But you will appear young. And for those of you Pisceans who are older, you may be working with someone who's more youthful or younger than you, because this card, can span to someone in their 40s and 50s who's immature, but it usually represents someone, in their 20s or 30s. And they bring a lot of energy to the job. Now, in your partnership house, Pisces, partners can be anyone. They can be children, friends, business associates, family, lovers, mates. You'll have to decide, but one of your partners has a very strong will, and they're very skilled, they're very capable, they're able to get things done, they can multitask. They just are a very competent person. And so it's fortunate because, one of your partners, has high standards and they meet them for themselves and they expect them of others. So this is a capable person and they can manifest what they want. And so never bad to be partners with somebody who can, take ideas and bring them into form or reality. In your bedroom, this is the eighth house. It also represents shared resources and your sexual life. It could be either. You have, the conformity card. And so for many of you, intimate or sexual life is very much connected with the institution of marriage. So many of you Pisces may be married or you may want to get married because this, if it's regarding your intimate life or your sexual life, it's saying that, you need a partner who shares the same values that you do, a partner that comes from the same tradition or culture. This is the card where institutions, and marriage is an institution, but religion, education, it's saying that you really want to attract a partner that comes from your own tribe, one that you know well, and you don't have clashes in your tastes or your values. If it's regarding shared resources, these resources would be gotten through an institution. So that can be a court, that can be educational institution. I guess we could put insurance companies, IRS, anything to do with government, religion, and even corporations, can fall under the Hierophant card. But you would have to go through sort of red tape if there's shared resources to be able to gain or attain what you want. Now, in your ninth house, this is the house of higher education, philosophy, travel, education, publishing, and lawsuits. And so you have a female here. So let's start with litigation or lawsuits. If this is an attorney or counselor, they give a lot of energy to their work. They don't goof off. They'll charge you fairly for the time they put in, and they'll represent you enthusiastically. They're a seasoned person. They take care of themselves, and like I said, they have energy. So if any of you have a female counselor or attorney, they will be working hard. If it's publishing, this is saying that you'd be better off publishing, your own work. There's a lot of online venues that you can use to do publishing. But if there's a female that has the traits that I've just mentioned at a publishing house, then possibly she would get your work published, quickly and wouldn't waste time. Higher education, you would learn a lot, especially if you studied business or you studied anything that involves entrepreneurial or creative fields, and this female was your instructor. They would be a great mentor for you. And then if it's travel, some of you may have a family member or friend that falls under this description. It's usually a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries woman, but in a general reading, it could be a man as well. You might go to travel to see this person. And it's saying that it would be a positive experience because the card is dignified and the person gives good energy to people. In your career house, you have Show Me the Money card. This is the card where you're saving for something. You're not, just spending your money on silly things. You're gripping it and you're holding it tight. You may be holding it a little too tight. The flow may not be there. Sometimes, you may be perceived as a person that's more about the money and getting the money than actually loving what you do, or, you know, having a passion for your work, or being in a profession that you enjoy. Just be aware that the world is seeing you more about just wanting to make the money. And so you may have to adjust that a little bit, and pretend that you really like your work, so that in your career house, you're not just seen as show me the money. Because again, you have this thing with the money, the money, the money in your home, and that's what's coming out also in your career. So you want people to see other aspects of yourself. Now, in the workplace, you do show up talented, or you're working with a young person that's talented, so that may deflect, some of this over concern, with money in your career house. Okay, now in your friendship house, this is saying everybody's going to be busy. A lot of people, or one of your friends is juggling school and work, or they're juggling two jobs, or they're taking care of the family and they're working, or they're taking care of the family and running errands and going to school at night. But this is the card where one of your friends or some of your friends are going to be so busy that they're not really going to be emotionally available. Everybody's going to be running around in the month of May, Pisces. So, whatever you're worried about, I don't think you're going to have a shoulder to cry on or someone to talk to, because in your friendship house you have the busy Lizzie card. They're on the move, and they're also like you, they're trying to make money. Okay, your 12th house, Pisces, is considered the house where you haven't learned some lesson and something still holds you back, or you self-sabotage. And this is the card of moving or messages. So in the month of May, some of you may be thinking about a move that ended up trapping you or made you feel chained in some way to a situation, because it's the complete opposite of the meaning of the card. The meaning of the card is freedom and movement and communication and energy, and going on a job or a mission or a trip, or delivering a message. So the whole aspect of this card is movement, and yet, paradoxically, it's in the house of feeling bound and restricted, and what's your prison. And so, for some of you, a move or moving, caused you to feel bound or restricted or trapped. And so you'll have to decide. For others of you, this is about, leaving things or leaving relationships, or just moving for the sake of moving, which in the end didn't really bring you freedom. It brought you the complete opposite of that. So you may have to meditate on why that is so, and, were you the person standing in your own way, or did a move actually set you back a bit, and now you're trying to sort of, rebalance and regroup your finances or your sense of security. For others of you, this may be that you've wanted to communicate a message to someone, or to go see someone, and it just keeps weighing on you because you haven't done it, or you did it and it didn't work out, the way you had hoped, and you might even be worried about some individual, but maybe you can't go to see them now, or you can't communicate, and so that's why you feel bound, or, a part of you wants to go and another part of you doesn't want to go. But anyway, you'll have to figure out, Pisces, what this, card means, because it is about moves, communication, travel, delivering messages. And so, whether you went to see someone or you didn't go to see someone, or you moved or you didn't move, you haven't mastered this lesson yet, so you'll have to think about, what mission were you actually on? What was the real essential mission? And then why do you still feel that you didn't, deliver the message or achieve the travel or see someone or communicate something? And then, are you holding yourself back, or did you just leave and now that's weighing on your mind, like you feel trapped by your own decisions? But in the month of May, that's going to come up for you quite a bit. You're going to be wondering about that. I don't really see a lot of you moving unless you're renovating your house, to sell it and then to relocate, which is possible. But, in your home, you have usually wanting to hold on to a property and, like I said, identify strongly with it and pass it on. It's like your investment. So you'll have to decide, if you need to deliver news to someone or you delivered it and why, it didn't work out and you feel more imprisoned than before. You may have to check your own communications out or your lack of communication, just getting up and going and not saying anything, not communicating what you wanted to communicate. And so that's kind of, keeping you bound right now. And if you can communicate, you probably should. If you do want to move, just put a plan of action together so that you can do it in the future. But all in all, Pisces, you have some fire energy, in this reading. So you may be involved, with an Aries, a Sagittarius, or a Leo, because you have some fire coming up. You have 4 wands. And so it's a good way to balance out your personality, because, you guys tend to go all on emotion and the fire signs are more on action. And so this will bring you some motivational energy, or you will become more active than usual in the month of May, which is good. And then, try whomever you're worried about to get some clarity. So if it's not a person, it might be finances, it might be any area of your life. But try to talk to somebody that you trust and get it, out of your system so that it's not the overriding principle or the overriding theme of how everyone is going to see you. If you're worried about your own health, go to a doctor. If you're worried about your finances, get advice from an accountant. If you're worried about a legal issue, get an attorney. If you're worried about a family member, try to call them or contact them. Okay? So I hope you have a productive month. If you like my videos, it always helps to like, share, or subscribe. And I hope you have a good, healthy, productive month. And I'll catch you back here next month, Pisces. Take care. Bye.